Do you remember the beginnings in eMAG or in technology? How did it start for you?
I'm not so old but yes, I remember quite well the beginnings in eMAG and in technology. I'm a former developer in my former life, not a good one, as I like to joke. But for a brief period of time, I was in eMAG as a developer, and I was kept in touch with one of the eMAG founders, Radu Apostolescu, which at some point in time came to me and said, Bogdan, come back in eMAG. We'll find you something to do there. No worries. And I keep said no until some point he said, Bogdan, we are developing eMAG marketplace. Uh, would you like to join us? And I knew the model. I knew the model because I was working in Okazi, which was a C2C marketplace. It still is on mostly like eBay model. But Amazon came with this one first party and third party model, and I saw the potential. So I started in almost 11 years ago in eMAG as a marketplace manager with 3 big sellers. Right now, I think there are over 40,000 sellers in eMAG marketplace. Of course, there are many people that work on eMAG marketplace, but I started 11 years ago with few employees compared with what it is in eMAG right now. I think we're 500. Now in all the eMAG companies, there are over 10,000 employees.
How was the company back then, 11 years ago? How did it look?
It was smaller for for sure, but what I liked it was a 1 hour meeting with Julian Stanciu, which was the CEO back then, and he had very bold plans, and he laid out to me. And the funny thing is that later this plan happened. He said, "Okay, we are one company, one country right now. We want to be in all region. We want to be a marketplace. We want to expand the categories. We want to be a e-commerce platform and enhancer for retail. We want to build big warehouses and so on and so on." And these things happened, and more. I would say more than that. And I like the energy. It felt like a startup now. I still look, but for that energy, this is why I made the shift to go and be closer to startups.
So first as a developer, then as a marketplace director, how did your career evolve inside the company until today?
Yeah, I always said that I was very lucky because I was in eMAG in a period of growth. There are a lot of changes, a lot of opportunities, and I had the craziness to try them all. I did some at some point I did some marketing, but mostly I did product and tech. I led the product and tech department, which is around 700 people right now. Very, very talented people, which were the backbone of what is eMAG right now. And in this position, when the eMAG started to be close to and invest in new company, I was one of the people involved in doing the due diligence and understanding how they stand from the product and technology standpoint. And this is how I create the connection with the company, and I was involved all the time. Okay, we said we'll invest in same day, which is a logistic company, but it doesn't have the technology for what it needs. Bogdan, come close to us and let's see how we do this. We invest in Eu Ce Mănânc, which is TAZ right now, food delivery company. Again, a very small startup based only in Timișoara back then. Now it's all over Romania and all the cities in Romania, and I was close to them. So this is I would say it's how we build from a developer back then to be involved in eMAG ventures in investment. And at some point I made a switch to be full-time close to these companies, and also to proactively look in other companies in which we want to invest.
You mentioned about the beginnings, 500 people when you joined eMAG, and eMAG always said that it's a technology company, not an e-commerce platform, it's a technology company. Did you think of it as a technology company at first, or just a bigger e-commerce platform?
Yeah, we think that technology company because we saw the power of technology and how we scale to technology. As I told you, we had 3 sellers 11 years ago. We have 40,000 sellers right now, and it was all possible to technology. And there are many more examples. When for me it was clear when pandemic hit. Yeah, it was a huge demand in e-commerce, in eMAG, and we managed to scale it up to double all the orders, all the volumes behind, with the same technology. Nothing more needed. We were prepared. We were prepared because we had this success story with Black Friday. So again, it was something that we want to develop and put in place in order to show people how easy it is to order online, to break some barrier. But also it was something very deep technologically. Nobody could do it in Romania at our scale. So yeah, I would think that this is one few reasons why we saw ourselves as a technology company, and we kept invested in that.
In 2012, also eMAG became part of Naspers. Naspers was the majority shareholder. How did the company change with this change in shareholders and having a bigger international company on top of it?
Yeah, when I look back again, I think at me and eMAG as a very lucky having this kind of strategic investor, because they came and said, look guys, you are in charge, you are responsible for the results. We are here to help you in growing, and we understand what it means to put money now in order to get it back later. So we had a lot of sharing of know-how. Nobody came and said you do things this way, but said, look, these are the best practices. And I had the chance to be on some very good conferences organized by Naspers, and we took the know-how and put it in place in eMAG, and further on in eMAG companies where we invested. So from that part, it was and still is a great partnership. Naspers has this history of investing in company and keeping the shareholder and the management team close to the company, to have skin in the game and to evolve together. So it was a good partnership from which we inspired, and we do things in this way.
Where do you think it would have been eMAG today without the help of such a partner?
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but I don't think it would be in this point at this scale. Most probably it will still grow because the people were the same, the ambition were big, but I don't think it would scale so much without an investor as Naspers.
Some companies, Naspers came and invested basically in eMAG as the majority shareholders. Some companies in Romania were bought entirely. So thinking about the influence of foreign acquisitions or investments in Romania, what was the influence on the Romanian IT sector in your opinion?
I think it was only positive when I look. It isn't only about the capital, the money invested, but it's also about the know-how, and looking in the future. I think we need more know-how in all ecosystem, and this company came and bring it to the market know-how for growing or for running the business, which is it's a big plus. It's a big plus for eMAG and for other companies. I think that everybody agrees with that.
You mentioned the same day as an investment, eMAG. What were the first investments that eMAG did in such companies, and why? Was it a choice to identify companies that are doing some things on the market and not developing from scratch?
Yeah, there are many more reasons to invest in companies. You see the potential in some market, you see the know-how, but it's I think it's very important about the people that you bring, the energy that you bring with that people, and the focus that they can bring to the table and could help you grow. Any of this company could be developed internally in eMAG, but I think that will take it longer yields, more money invest, and we would lose, especially on the people part. And there is something very interesting here. Yeah, we bring close to us some people from the companies that we invest, but on the other hand, we offer the chance the people from eMAG to join the startups. And this is a big plus for them. I have a lot of colleagues that were in eMAG and now are in the top position in same day TAS, and they develop extraordinarily. And maybe in eMAG, because we grew and we are so big, they didn't have a chance. So it's a big plus from this perspective. But we look in, as I told you, know-how. We look in people, and we look to grow faster on some niche that we are interested. When we bought same day because we wanted to understand more, and we wanted to build some premium services for the delivery. And this how we came up with the EasyBox, with delivery in locker. At first we were reluctant to develop this kind of network, but after the first trial, and we saw how the customers embrace it. We said, okay, we must grow faster, and we managed to grow faster on EasyBulk on lockers through technology, and of course with great people in same day team. And again, we saw some trends when we invested in Taz or invested in Flip or invested in Atlas. We saw that big trend, and this was an inspiration from Naspers process, food delivery. The habits of people are changing. It's something similar with what happened when they started to go to restaurants, where they started to gain time for this activity. And we were again inspired and lucky to invest in TAZ, in Eu Ce Mănânc, also helped by pandemic. It's no question about it, but it was right time, right place for the investment. And again, it was a great CEO and management team in TAZ who, when we enter in the market, TAZ were the sixth company. Now they are very close to number one. Yeah, so it's only three remaining. They are number two and close to number one in Romanian market, which is again a great thing. Yeah.
How do you identify this type of companies? Because same day wasn't the biggest. It was a small delivery company. Eu Ce Mănânc, it was a regional startup from Timișoara. So you identify them, and how? What attracts you there?
Yeah, I think we start with some looking at the team, at the people who are running the business, at the people who started the entrepreneurs, and in each case there were great people, and they were willing to be close to us. We told them that we have big ambition. They understood, and they did it very well. So we start with people. Of course, domain it's important. We told you, and that's how we evolve. I think that we know that we have experience and know-how that we can bring to these companies. As I told you, people from eMAG, but we also accumulated some know-how in technology. And we know how to scale technology, how to hire people in technology, how to keep people in technology, how to keep them involved, how to build great products. And this is a know-how that we share. We know how to look at the financial, and it's very important, and it's something that we learn and keep learning to see it and to truly understand what are the business driver. And we have know-how in operation, and these things that put it all together with great team and in a good niche could create value.
How do you deal with startup founders? Have a lot of ego sometimes. They have their pride of building that product. How do you deal with with this characteristic of founders? Because sometimes eMAG can be scary. The big guy is coming.
It's a very good point, and indeed, you have to understand their point. You have to understand for startups that they are different. They are putting everything in the game. They are putting their skin in the game. They are dedicated more than 100 for building their product, their company. And this is something that it's my role to advocate that within eMAG, and to make people understand that we need to work a little bit different with the startups and with the founders. They are different from that perspective, and I think until now we managed to do a pretty good job at that. There are moments where there are conflicts, no question about it, and it's normal, and it's quite good to be. We try in all the companies that we work in eMAG groups to work in business relation. There is a hard negotiation between same day in eMAG when it's come about commercial condition. The same with Flip, the same with Taz. No matter what, we don't try to took from one place and move it to another. This is one way where we put it in place to have a healthy relationship, because the founders, they still have shares in the company, and they would lose otherwise. So this is something that we came up, and it's worked quite well so far. But it's not an easy task to do it. I must admit. For founders to work with eMAG, and for eMAG to work with them. This is, I think, one of my big part from this role. It's to be in the middle and to explain to these two different worlds how to work together.
When did you took the decision to transform this thing that you already did, investing in companies, and putting under this name eMAG Ventures, and how was it different than before?
Yeah, it's always a process, and it came naturally, because we did an investment, we did 3 investment, we did 3 investment. We understood how things work, what is working, what is not working. And for me, I accumulated a lot of experience in eMAG, being almost 10 years when I started eMAG Ventures, knowing a little bit of everything, as I told you, being part of marketplace, marketing, product, tech, being part of eMAG board, and being close to these companies. I had a lot of experience in that moment, where I could say, okay, I could go and look for companies, and also I could stay close to them until one stage to help them grow and integrate in eMAG ecosystem. Because at the beginning, I am the main contact who puts the know-how that I have, and also I work as a proxy, and try to put with domain experts when the things get more and more complex, and people who have deep knowledge from eMAG group came into place. So it came naturally, and we said, okay, let's put it under one name, and say that we are looking proactively this kind of companies. And again, it's building. Funny thing is that we invested in Flip because we invested in Taz. When we invested in Taz, we said, okay, we want to build fast the mobile app, to rebuild it, the mobile app. We look for company, mobile app company, which, by the way, it was the company that worked with same day. Say, okay, this is a good company, work with Taz. We worked together to build a new mobile app, and the guys who develop said, I have some guys. They are doing refurbished marketplace. Don't you want to talk with them? They want to know how to expand international. And the three founders were very open and eager, and said, Bogdan, could you help us? I told them what I knew from developing, and at the point when they said, okay, we have eMAG Ventures, I said, okay, these are the guys that I want to work. And the funny thing is that I've talked with them with 6 months before, and they deliver what they said, and I said, okay, this is a very good sign. But things are building. It's brick by brick, and this is how you build things. So. I saw the potential in Flip, and I still think it's a great investment, and I have only good words and how fast and good they move. Never mention how young they are, still young.
How did the pipeline changed when announcing eMAG Ventures? It opened a bit more because maybe companies understood right now that they can talk with you.
Yeah, for sure, the pipeline open. It was a process even for me to understand, because it was something new. I learned in the process. I learned that the conversion rate it's quite small. It's similar with the conversion rate in e-commerce. So you see 100 companies and maybe invest in 2-3 companies. It was exactly the case for me. And people and companies came to me, and I learned to say no fast. I learned to see how this company could fit in our plans for the future. And it was a interesting process. The pipeline opened. And it was a process that I personally and eMAG as a company learned a lot. So we are now in the process where things are more clear. We know what to look for. We are focused right now in growing the companies where we invest. We realize that we have some cycles. And we are right now in the cycle where we are investing in growing the company. So for each company that we invest, we did a follow-up investment and so on. So we are growing beside companies, but we are still open for other opportunities.
Besides this cycle that you mentioned, when there's a hard no from eMAG Ventures for a startup?
Yeah, it's for sure it's a hard no when we came the people came with an idea, and they say, okay, I have an idea, and I say, okay, you have to have a product in the market, and you have to have some paying customers. No matter how people are, what are the revenues? It doesn't matter. It could be 5 companies that are paying a lot of money on monthly or yearly revenue, or a lot of B2C customers. But you have to have a product launched in the market with paying customers. Until then, it's too soon. It's too soon for us. Also, we learned that there is a total addressable market that has to be interesting enough for us to put in motion a company as big as eMAG. It's something that again we learn along the way. either you invest in 10 millions in a company or 500 k, it's the same amount of people and resources that you put in place in order to do due diligence, to negotiate the shareholder agreement, and so on. So yeah, we are looking right now at bigger tickets when we talk, or smaller ticket but with great potential. Yeah.
How do you manage? You mentioned a bit this need from the companies. They are part now of the bigger eMAG group. They know that eMAG has experts in different fields. And how do you manage this almost incestuous relationship when you know there's an expert in eMAG, but it's hard to convince her or him to work for a smaller startup, not full time, but just to help it? How do you displace these people?
Yeah, at the beginning, we try to put it in contact, and we know that it's hard to take operation. I give an example. Operation guy who handles millions of orders per monthly to put it in, I don't know, in Flip. But we did that. I said, okay, look, this guy is expert in this. You know how to set up a warehouse. Please stay and discuss with him for a few hours. So they have this touch point for, let's say, some meetings with a few hours. Later on, they could give more time from people who are working under them, or even transfer. It's something that it's happened. Okay, you don't go to the top people in eMAG, but you could find very good people underneath. Yeah, and you have a chance to bring in your company. It happened in TAS. The operation guy is in TAS. The guy who is chief operating officer right now, it was a colleague of ours from eMAG who was in operation in eMAG, but it was under the VP of operation, and it was a very good match. But there are many more examples. So this is how we put it together. Or we could say, okay, go to that consultancy firm and work with them. It's happened. Or go and work with these suppliers and so on and so on. But for sure, they have at least some airtime with top people in eMAG, and we try to put them together. But yeah, I know that they want access to the know-how. The good part is that they learn fast, very fast.
I know that you mentioned that nowadays you are in the growth phase for this investments, but would the MAG invest in areas that are not in direct relationship with e-commerce, maybe not so obvious in the entire context?
Yeah, many people ask why we invested in Atlas. We saw that in the near future, our first interaction with the health system will be digital. I strongly believe in that. And also, I believe that we could close this loop, and from somebody who needs, let's say, some prescription to be delivered at home by e-commerce company or delivery company, whatever. So we are putting the foundation and bricks all together, that in somewhere in the future to do this. I don't see why my mother, who is 80 years old and live in a small village in Romania, couldn't have a first digital interaction with a very good doctor from Timișoara, let's say, and they say, okay, you should do this kind of test analysis, and afterwards came back to me, interpret them, and have this prescription. It's a scenario that I see it happened pretty close in the future, and we want to be there. So yeah, it's a bet. It's I would say it's a longer time bet, but we look in this kind of things.
eMAG is a regional company. Are you looking right now just in the on the Romanian market, or you are open?
We are open, and what we've built indeed it's a regional company being present in Bulgaria and Hungary, and we want to expand that. It's no question about it that eMAG as a group we want to expand, but we are looking at which country is and what is the right moment. And also I look at the companies in Bulgaria and Hungary that could integrate in eMAG ecosystem. But of course there is a bias towards Romanian company because I'm based here. eMAG has a stronger presence and a big brand in Romania, and as a Hello, eMAG venture is more present here, and people are willing to come faster here. But I had some approaches and interesting discussion with companies from Bulgaria and Hungary also. But if it's something interesting, we could go even further.
eMAG expanded internationally, country by country. So, talking from a perspective of a Romanian company with the most important activity here in Romania, how difficult is to grow to the west, starting from the east, and how far can you go?
Yeah, it's again a good question. It's not easy. It's not easy, especially for a B2C company. Yeah, when you address directly to the customer, you have to go market by market. You have to have a good understanding of local market, of local culture, of habits of the people, and you have to have local presence. In our case, it's not only the language in the e-commerce platform. You have to have integration with logistic company. You have to have warehouse in order to have good delivery time. You have to have good payments methods adapted to the local ecosystem, and so on and so on and so on. And beside that, we as a ecosystem, as a culture, we don't have enough experience. We are building upon that, but we are not somebody who managed to do and conquest many new markets in terms of business. It's something cultural. We didn't manage to, in our history, to expand further west or east. But I'm optimistic, and I think that it's something that we are learning. And when the company get their experience, and people from the companies got their experience and know how to do this kind of expansion, they'll come back in the market in other companies, and we will manage to grow the ecosystem. But yeah, when startup came to any startup comes to me and said, we'll go and in half a year we'll go there, and there. And when I heard Poland, and say, okay, it's not so easy to go, especially in B2C. Well, we are experts and we know what we are talking, but also in B2B, it's not easy. But it's something that it needs to be built with experience and with other success stories from other companies, or with infusion from know-how from when you said when you'll have investors, or for the classic VC, not a corporate VC like us, when they build a network of relation with other VC to the west to build that. So I think that everybody in the ecosystem is working on that. It's not something that you could leapfrog, yeah, but I'm optimistic about it.
Oh, what's the barrier for B2C companies? You mentioned Poland, and maybe if we can identify other countries as barriers, I don't know, Austria, Germany, that are harder to penetrate for a B2C company starting from here.
I think it's any new country is different. It's again, and it depends how much effort and local presence you have to put in there. There are cases where you could do it from here, and a very good example it's all the ecosystem that we created through eMAG marketplace. There are sellers and producers from Romania who could sell very easy to Bulgaria and Hungary, and we created that. It's seamless for them when they send a delivery from Oradea. It doesn't matter if it goes to Sofia, it goes to Budapest, or it goes to Constanza. It's seamless. We created that, and we created the platform for that. But if you need to have a strong local presence, you need to create a brand that things get tougher, because you have to work with local agency in marketing. If you have to create operation there, you have to you have to integrate with local operators. You have to see what are the payments. You have legislation that you have to adopt, and so on. So for a B2C, I think it's hard to go, no matter what country do you speak. Yeah, it could be right now. This part of logistic and transportation seems to be resolved, or it's working more and more. Same day, it's working on that. But we see that we order something from Germany for me as a customer, it's happened to receive 1 or 2 days later. So this big transportation hub across Europe maybe will be solved, but there are others that it's hard to solve, especially in B2C. But even for B2B, it depends on how you do the selling model. So this is something that you need to go country by country. It's country by country for eMAG. For TAS, I would say it's city by city. Yeah, because in each city it had to do a different setup. Again, talk with restaurants, different salespeople, understand the local custom, and so on. So it's not easy for a B2C to scale, and we are not alone in that. We saw, let's say, Amazon. There are markets where they are good. There are markets where they struggle. Chinese companies, they are great in China, but they didn't manage to get out of China. So it's not an easy not to crack.
What's still missing on the Romanian ecosystem when talking about startups?
I would say this part that we mentioned before. It's a mix of experience in going to other markets. Maybe I would say we are not bold enough to start to think big, and this is again come from cultural background, and we have to have some success story upon we could build, and some know-how related to what it means to be truly a big regional or global company in order to be a company of multi hundred millions dollar company, which is not easy, and I think it came with time. Everything that it's working right now, all the companies that are have managed to go globally, accumulated some know-how that are in the people. That people will go into Romanian market and do that. And also, I think we need to create a bigger network. I think it needs more sharing and a bigger network of people who could connect with Romanian startups. I was in Israel, I was in Tel Aviv, and I was amazed how well they are connected, and they say, okay, we have a big network, we help each other, we introduce each other, and also we do sharing in our country. And they said we are unfortunate and fortunate enough to have a small country with no good neighbors around us, so we must think globally. Right now for Romania, it's something in between. We have a relatively big country and market in terms of population in EU, so it's attractively to look only at Romania. So I think all of that to gain experience, network, know-how in order to think big and go regionally and globally.
What do you think is the role right now in the ecosystem, and thinking about the evolution of the ecosystem in the last 20, 30 years, of ecosystem champions such as eMAG, Bitdefender, UiPath? What is the role right now of these companies inside the ecosystem?
As I told you before, they are also investing, which is the case of eMAG, in investing in other company. I would like to be more companies that will have a corporate VC program like eMAG. I think we are among the few which has some this part. It's us and Fortech in inclusion. That's about it. With corporate VC program, they are not easy, as you mentioned before, but I would like to see more of that. And I think what I mentioned before, the people that gain a lot of experience in handling products that have big impact globally, they have that experience, and I hope to be put on the market in other startups or as founders or investors in that startup. And I feel the need to more companies that will have this success story, because you gain capital, you gain know-how, and afterwards you put it back in the market. And it's happening right now. There are some VC backed by people from UiPath, people from Bitdefender or eMAG.
What should people understand, startup founders, about corporate VCs? Because they are very specific. They are very dependent maybe on the culture of the company. How is it different from any other VC?
Yeah, it's different, but in the same way, it's like any other VC. It's an investor, and you should be very careful when you choose it. It has its pro, it has its cons. I think I mentioned all the pros. We have as a corporate VC. It's a lot of know-how that we could put in place. Of course, capital. Of course, we could help you with good people, network of suppliers and buyers and so on. These are the good part when we work with a corporate VC. At the same time, you have to understand that it's a different animal, and in this case, you have to understand what kind of game do you play with. Sometimes it may be slower than you are. In most of the cases, the process is slower than in your company. You have one idea as a founder, you discuss with the guy next to you, and the next day is up in the production. I had that shock when I made the switch back to close to a startup. I was with Taz, and I had this kind of epiphany. Okay, it's happening so fast. Yeah. So it could be a little bit slower than your startup. It could mean you have to talk with more people than you are used to that. And at some point, you need to understand what are to be very aligned at the beginning, and to be careful to be aligned along the way with what you want and what you need. But it's like any other VC. This is true for this part of alignment. It's corporate VC or VC. You have to be careful at the beginning.
Have you thought about it, or would you take into consideration the idea of opening your own startup, of starting your own company?
Of course, it's clearly that I thought about it, but to be honest, I think right now I'm in a position where I'm at my best, considering my experience and what I want to know, what is my type of personality. And I think for me it's better to be close to the founders than to be a founder myself. But I didn't exclude this idea. I have read somewhere that I have the age where most of the founders start. So I'm still pondering about it.